Alright, welcome back to T90 Titans League Season 2. Got the Silver League here with Uzzi up against Kamigawa. I think I'm saying that right. So you got Uzzi here in the yellow trunks as Hindustanis on the right side of the map. Spawning on the left side, we got Kamigawa, I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce that, on mine. So you got a camel and gunpowder sieve, cheaper vills, up against a civ that's renowned for their archers. You start the villager up, 50 less food, so pretty perfect in terms of the trade-off there. Longer lasting resources, so it's nice just having resource conservation in general. Cheaper archers, as well as a nice unique archer unit. Cheaper walling. A lot of gold to fight over here, so we're here on Gold Rush, the tournament edition. So this map come a long way from that cheesy little map you play deathmatch with your dad or your big brother or your little brother with, to a tournament map. It's actually pretty popular as a deathmatch, like tournament deathmatch map for whatever reason, or was. Sort of can't really figure out why though, other than there being a pretty generous helping of stone for the players around the map. So I mean, if you manage to secure all your stone and get on the enemy, or get on the central gold, it just ends up being Castle City. Pretty boring way to play deathmatch if you ask me. We're not here today on deathmatch, we're here today in Supremacy, courtesy of T90. I'm sure you guys know all about him. I'm the obscure one here. So, Kamigawa starting to drop a house there, just serve as a little bit of a wall off, probably throw up some walls and stuff around it. Other buildings too, no doubt. So for whatever reason he's got both of his goats just scouting together rather than splitting them up. It must have been fairly close and over here to begin with. If he's not bothered to split them up, probably wouldn't have been too much value in having them be split up. Might just be a bit of a pain in the ass trying to find them. Oh, here we go, he's actually split them up. So one's going to head back, one's going to scout. So I wonder if he's miles off, he's not going to be able to find it. It's always nice when you pinch your enemy's scouting sheep. Just a bit of extra food for you. Bit of food that they miss out on, so got to chew through the berries and get on the farm eco just that little bit faster. Pretty nice elephant spawn there. These huntables are in great locations for our players to pick off. Speak of picking off, I never really see players really attempt the easy Vill harass. But in saying that, it only just takes a bit of micro from the Vills to turn it around and punish the scout, which can be more useful later on, being near full health or staying at full health. Because usually that opening scout is the only one you're going to have for a little bit if you're opening with spears or archers into the other or into a stables. You know, usually the scout's the last thing you add, so you don't want to throw away your fast unit or your eagle scout as such for your meso civs. Because the scout cavalry, really expensive food unit early on, the most expensive in terms of the food cost early on. While the eagle scouts, I think they are pretty expensive as well, about the same cost as a man-at-arms, so a gold infantry. In either case, they're not something you want to just waste. Easy. I think a barracks, but Kamigawa. Anyone himself, walling himself in. Easy. Is he going to add walls behind this? No, it doesn't seem to be at the moment. Just going to add a stable. Going for that harass. So is Uzzi just going for early scouts, not going for any early infantry. Wow. Kamigawa gonna add a spear. Add a range now as well. So 3 scouts. We're going to see the spear. Eagle. Be a nice opening against this because it's already a bit of health taken off the scout. Kamigawa. Free to just add archers and wall himself in for the moment. Uzzi cut production of military at home, gonna add his own range. Start working away at the palisade. But I mean he hasn't got any ranged units to try and poke villages over the wall with. He's got it low enough that he forces out another palisade segment from Kamigawa. Fairly inconsequential value, like these things aren't hugely expensive, but I mean it's better than getting no value. On top of that, the villager's got to wander over before he goes back to doing whatever he does, and oftentimes people are a little bit late with pulling those villages that they send to go and build and repair shit back to base. So now Kamigawa have the opportunity to have a crack at Uzzi's base, but Uzzi, much as he skimped on the walling, he's already got skirmishers, a good number, so you can pick off the archer relatively pain free, and now he's the only one with ranged here in the fight, so he can actually bully the spears, even with scout cav in the mix. He's just going to try and follow up, make sure he can fight. Yep, there we go, 3-1. So it's a really nice fight there for Uzzi, even though Kamigawa invested in the spears to counter the, well, in the spear to counter the cavalry, and then had all the archers. Didn't have really anything to deal with the nice shots there with the skirmishers there. So easy, a couple of kills already. He's down a villager, but that's all just to do with the bonus mine villager. So they've got a nice early eco. Bloody archer sieves. Archer sieves OP, A mover. Start a step to win. So archers versus skirms. The skirms aren't going to hit as hard against villagers or against infantry, but they definitely are a scary fight for archers. And this is actually blacksmith. He's actually got +1 ranged on them already. There we go. So +1 range here for Kamigawa. So our player's on even range damage footing now, but archer versus skirmish is still a really tough trade. Archers all stacked up just to try and make sure they're not all taking the damage one by one. One of them does fall. Scary push here by Uzzi because it's forcing a lot of building out for Kamigawa. It's got 2 builds on each building. Finishes off the market though. So he's walled in pretty securely now. Uzzi is not aging up yet. Well, Kamigawa is aging up at the moment. There we go. Uzzi's on the way. Slightly later than Kamigawa's, but I think things have been mostly Uzzi's way in terms of the kills at the moment. And in fact, Uzzi's actually managed to snag a villager here because that Mayan player was up by 1 just based off the unique bonus from the Civ. Now Uzzi trying to find a way into Kamigawa's base. Neither player, Kamigawa, actually going to switch to adding a few Eagle Warriors, but Uzzi's not looking at adding any military yet. Going to get stone mining so he can get some increased carry capacity and gather rate as stone miners. Still a rough fight here for Kamigawa because he's not wanting to really engage into this with all those skirmishes there.
Namaste.
This village is having to be careful with those building. Not quite able to finish off either of those houses. But he does have enough considering his house walled so heavily that they really only serve as walls at the moment. So I think he's hoping to try and get enough damage done with a push here. But Uzzi's walled in the meantime, so trying to push in response be rough here for Kamigawa. Although now with a few more Eagle Scouts in the mix, he should be able to fight the Horsemen once again. Sorry, the Scout Cav. This time the skirms are a little bit low, while his own archers are a little low as well. Defensive castle here. And second town center for Uzzi, while his second town center here for Kamigawa. That castle finishing up. I mean, none of these guys are gonna stick around. So Golem production starting here for Uzzi. The skirms have been caught out. The Scout Cav are split off, but they're not really going to be able to help out. So the skirms do go down pretty much for free. So Kamigawa sort of setting the scores straight in terms of the military kills. Now he finds himself well up on Uzzi in terms of military on the field, but there's no real way into his opponent's base at the moment. Golems are massing up really quickly here for a Hindustani player. Both our players well walled off on this very defensive map. It'll be a while before either of them is going to be able to bust a move. They're going to need Imperial to really be able to make things work here. So, is he going to go for third town center? A little risky, but it is going to secure the stone, and he's got the Golems active out on the map, who I think are going to be just as fast as the Eagle Warriors. Like if we go to where are your units? Golems. So they're actually strong against archers rather than against cavalry, which is a bit odd. They look like a spearman, but they're actually anti-archer, weak versus cav. And they look like they move pretty much like the Eagle Warriors. Very similar animation. So similar, I could confuse it for being the same, with a different actual texture. Melee versus melee is Golems. Eagle Warriors fight there, but I think the Ghoulems work out to be slightly stronger. Slightly weaker in terms of the armor, but slightly more base damage. But I suppose, I mean, Kamigawa's already fit in, age 3. Blacksmith upgrades. I can't actually tell, which is annoying in this UI. I might have to get the caster thing for AoE 2 sorted, because I think it'll actually really give me all those little QOL things that I want that are in the other UIs for the other AoE games. That's just Golem and Villager spam here from Uzzi. Kamigawa is Villager and Eagle spam. Kamigawa getting a house in the middle of the map, for whatever reason. The scout cav. Almost deliberately being thrown away at this point because Uzzi wants to just mass Golems and try and get Imperial Age. Maybe look at raiding with these guys, or even just leading him here. Just seeing if he can bait Kamigawa to sort of over-investing in an army of Eagles. He can switch to some siege and maybe something else to deal with them. Kamigawa in the meantime going to be able to grab the relics. But bearing in mind, just with the Eagle Warriors, with a lot of control of the golds, Mines is very threatening without really even having to use their archers to a great effect. Late game, their skirms also do an extra attack. So failed attempt by Uzzi to get the outpost, the villager quick walled in there. Kamigawa we'll go for the workshop in the center of the map here. Uzzi at the moment's just gonna look after these villagers. These guys just skitzing out. So Uzzi forward castle, which Kamigawa not aware of at the moment. Viewlock doesn't really seem to pick up all of his actions. I don't think he's playing that slowly. But even still, he doesn't seem to be aware of what... Here we go, so he sees the castle now. There we go, it's working a little bit better. This army of Ghoulems, I don't think he saw those in the Fog of War, so Uzzi's gonna try and move out now. It's just Kamigawa's going for the castle too. So this will be a nice catch here for Uzzi if he can stop this, because he'll get a lot of villagers, or at least a couple of villagers, and really delay this by a bit of time. It's always nice. Not the best of chokes for Kamigawa to be fighting him in with the melee, with his own units sort of fanning out a little bit better there. Possibly going to get picked off here, but it does manage to hit a couple of Ghoulems, while the rest of them do get wiped out there. While we've got this going on, there is armored elephants and more Ghoulems streaming out. Kamigawa going to Imperial. Uzzi's still in castle at the moment. And now he's got Ghoulems, his own mangonel, and he's got a few armored elephants here. I mean, the Eagle Warriors, especially come late game with that tech for the Lions player. El Dorado, the bonus health on them. I think they'll be nice to fight against the armored elephants, but even still. Be a tough fight for him, I think, because Uzzi, yeah, really making sure he's got control of the center of the map. He's slowed down that castle somewhat, killed a couple of villagers. Catch another one here by the look of it. A mine player. I'll be able to use the monks to try and convert the elephants, which would be nice for him if he can do so. Same time, a few villagers forced to scatter here. Kamigawa. Is he gonna clean them up? The elephants. Oh, yeah, gonna be too much work here for the Eagle Scouts, but at the same time, Golems have now broken through the gates, just as Kamigawa's been looking to try and push his opponent, so he's gonna have to try and clean this up with his Eagles. Again, I think these guys have a slight advantage now over the Golems in terms of their stats. I don't know if Kamigawa's brought enough to clean this up. He's going to have to bring some more Eagle Warriors, but he's actually let everything through the gate here. Same time, he's still a ways off taking out the castle, and Uzzi's willing to get a second one straight next to it and sniping the trebuchet. So Golem raiding. A great effect here by Uzzi. Kamigawa struggling a little bit to clean this up. He's certainly down one that out, but this has really interrupted his gathering a bit. He's down by about 25 villagers and he's dropped a trebuchet. These things pretty pricey, a lot more expensive than a single Golem or single Eagle Warrior here. So now Kamigawa's just going for it, but I don't know if he's actually got enough to break Uzzi here. He might have rushed this, trying to get in before the second castle goes up, but I don't think he's got enough here. And now Uzzi brings the repairers. Be able to finish the castle, well, top up this castle and finish off the second. Try and snipe both of these trebs because they're now pretty much undefended. There's not really going to be enough to protect those from the Golem push because these guys seem to be able to tank quite a bit of damage from the castle. Yeah, these guys seem to have such crazy pierce armor. The Lions player's not even got archers. And seemingly can't just use static defense here. And Uzzi takes the game.